Do you believe in God-given talent? Now, I remember a long time ago I was reading a quote by Tom Bilyeu. I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly, but I'll paraphrase his quote. And he said, it's easier to believe in God-given talent than it is to believe that somebody worked their ass off to get to where they are. Now, if you believe that there is somebody who is ahead of you that has God-given talent, and you genuinely believe that, what it does is it mentally closes a shutter in your mind. It mentally makes you think, well, they are some kind of superhuman, they are some kind of, abnormality or some kind of glitch in the matrix, but they are so far ahead of me, there is no way I can humanly catch up with them. Now, I was reading a book a while back, and I can't exactly remember the name of it, which is not news as you, but it was speaking about kids who were prodigies and geniuses and all those different things. Now, one of the ones that was brought up, again, I can't remember if it was Mozart or was one of those, but it was one of those big composers. Now, he came out of the gate probably about 6 or 7. He was playing the piano, he was composing symphonies, and he was probably on tour all over the place, probably to all these, wealthy parties, whatever. He was wheeled out and he was playing the piano. And for you to look at your 6-year-old and you're looking at this 6-year-old at this party who is playing this symphony and is flying up and down the piano and playing all this beautiful music, when you compare your 6-year-old to that child, you're probably saying, wow, that child has a God-given talent. Compared to my child, there's no way, even if my child took up music today, they would ever be as good as that. But what you find is, again, if you look from the outside and you see that person, you do assume, yes, they have a God-given talent. But when you actually look behind the curtain, as this book did, what you found was that that child had advantages from the very, very beginning. Now, in the case of, again, I'm not sure it was Mozart, but it was one of the great composers, his parents were music teachers, or one of them at least was a music teacher. So straight away he had an advantage that he was probably going to go down the music route if their parent had a love of that. Now, I'm sure if he was, as he was a baby, I'm sure probably some stage his parents probably picked him up on his or her knee and they probably moved his hands up and down the piano and gave him a feeling of what it was like playing the piano. Now, as well too, I am sure that back in those times, they probably listened to quality music in the house. If you're a music teacher, there's probably a good chance you have a great love of music, so there's a good chance that you would probably be listening to music on a regular basis, or at least playing good music on your own piano as you're practicing your pieces. So if you can imagine a child brought up in that background, the parent is a good music teacher, they probably have sat them down at the keyboard at a young age and they have this good music playing in the background constantly. If you imagine you're lying in your cot and you're hearing all these symphonies or these great pieces being played by a parent over and over again, over time I imagine you will subconsciously absorb all that music, and it will probably affect the music that you'll probably listen to in the future. But because you are listening to good music at a young age, that is straight away giving that 6-year-old an advantage over somebody's 6-year-old who probably hasn't got a music teacher as a parent, has never sat down at a keyboard, is never exposed to great music and all those different things, and instantly that moves that child further along. So by the time they get to 6, I'd imagine Mozart or whatever, I'd imagine his parents sat him down for hours and hours at a time trying to get him on the piano and practicing it, and he got better. So by the time he was wheeled out when he was 6 or 7, he seemed like he was this musical genius, because how can a 6-year-old be playing music to this level? How can he be so good? And how can he have such a great taste in music? And how can he compose music? And as you can see there, if you have all those advantages in the background, straight away, you are off to a running start. So, as Tom said, it is easy to believe that a lot of people have a God-given talent, and because of that, we put them up on a huge pedestal, and we believe that, we can't reach where they are. Now, I seen an interesting image the other day, and it was so true. It showed 3 people standing on a podium at it looked like something like the Olympics or something like that. So you had the person standing in top position, second position, third position on the podium. But what the person had illustrated was they had actually cut away at the ground, and what they had showed was they had showed building blocks under the podium that went down to infinity, and it was all like dedication, showing up, motivation, inspiration, all those different kind of building blocks, and probably teachers, coaches, all those different things. But from the ground level up, you just seen the podium, you seen the first position, the second position and the third position, but you didn't see all, as Tom said, all the hard work that went on in the background that nobody knew of, that nobody was aware of, and that they only see like the top part of the iceberg, and they assume that that person has a God-given talent and is somebody who is probably superhuman and is out of everybody else's capability of catching up on. So if you are like that, if you do see somebody in your niche or your genre, or if you think that, well, Stephen King or J.K. Rowling or all those different people are so good of a writer, I can never get to their level, they are just way beyond everybody else. Again, they might have had some kind of superhuman touch when they were born, but like as I said, you don't know the backgrounds, you don't know all the different things that influence them and give them an unfair advantage on everybody else, and that's why they get to where they are. So for you to think that you can't compete with them, you're sadly mistaken. As Tom said, if you're willing to put in the hard work, put in the hours and the years of working away on your craft, you will get better, and you will find at some stage people will probably look at you and say, wow, we didn't know, we realised you had a hidden talent. Well, in fact, you probably didn't have a hidden talent, but because you were beating away on your craft as often as possible, you got to that point where you just took a huge spurt away from everybody else, and it looks like you have a huge talent. So give that some thought today. If you are putting people up on a pedestal, if you're thinking, well, they are superhuman, they have God-given talent, I'm here to let you know that that probably isn't true. They probably had unfair advantage, well, not unfair, but they had an advantage that you mightn't have had, just like Mozart being born into a musical family, and all that hard work that went on in the background that people don't know about. But as I said, they only see the tip of the iceberg. So give that some thought today if you are being a little bit tough on yourself, because you feel that you aren't talented. Not many people are, and it's by showing up and working on the craft over and over again is the only way that they will rise up to that point where they do look like they're talented. So as always, if you'd like to ask me anything in a future video, feel free to reach out to barryjmcdonald@gmail.com, or if you'd like to know more about these videos or the podcast or what all I get up to, again, do a search for writecom.com, that's WRITECOME.com, and you'll find all my content all over the web. And at the moment we are giving a great report away on the Writecom site, which is going to show you 10 ways anyone can make money from their words. Now, if you think that you need to be a great writer with God-given talent, I'm here to tell you that you don't. In fact, I'm going to show you in one instance where you can make money using only a handful of words. Now, if that surprises you, or if you don't believe me, head over to the site, download the report, give it a go, and challenge it, and let me know how you get on. But I'm here to tell you that it is easy to go from words to wealth and make money from your keyboard. So, as always, thanks for sharing your time with me again today. Take care, have a great day, bye bye.